So let me guess, you've been trying to lose body fat for some time now, right? And the more videos that you watch on it, it just seems to make it way too complicated than it actually should be. I know from personal experience what you're going through, because I used to feel the exact same way. And I remember it always making me feel more hopeless than the last time, because it just seemed way too difficult to actually make a change. If you were anything like me growing up, you were also a bit overweight and insecure when it comes to your body, right? For as long as I can remember, ever since I was like 7 or 8 years old, I always been on the chubbier side, and that always used to make me feel so uncomfortable. But I remember when I first started the gym, I think I was about 17 or 18 years old. My physique at the time looked something like this. I'll put a picture on the screen. I didn't like the way my body looked, and especially my stomach. I remember whenever my friends or family wanted to take pictures with me, I always became so uncomfortable, and every time they asked for pictures, I would always tell them that I didn't want to. One thing in particular that I always used to do, and you can probably relate to this as well if you were a bit overweight or just insecure about your body, is that whenever it was windy outside, and whatever clothes you were wearing, they would get stuck to your body, I would always just pull on it like this, 24/7, because I didn't want to show the print of my stomach. And every time it actually did, I got so uncomfortable and I just rather go home instead. Alright, so imagine this. I'm 17 years old and had just started the gym. My main goal at the time was to lose weight, but I also wanted to gain some muscle at the same time. I just wanted to feel comfortable in my body for once in my life. I was just so mentally tired of always having to think about what other people thought about me. And it always used to give me these negative thoughts on a daily basis. And I think you can relate to that as well. I wanted to get attention from people, not because I was overweight, but because I was looking good. I wanted to build a physique for myself that I was actually proud of. And if you want my personal help to get more respect and attention from everyone around you, especially girls, just by the way that you look, then click the first link in the description right now. I don't know about you, but when I personally start new things, I research them to the point that it just becomes overwhelming. I become obsessed. I want to know everything about it. So I remember when it comes to just working out and the gym, I binged watch every single video you can imagine. How to lose fat, how to gain muscle, what exercises to do, and what muscles are where and what their name is. What ended up happening was that instead of me actually feeling excited to go to the gym, it just made me feel anxious instead, because I had no idea what I should be doing. My brain was just full of information that was useful, but I had no idea how to structure it or where to start. However, that's when everything clicked for me. I had approached fitness with the completely wrong mindset. In my mind, I thought that I was doing this as just something temporary. I had consumed tons and tons and tons of content because I wanted to maximize my progress. But what I ended up doing in return was just making it way too complicated for no reason. What I should have done instead is approach it as a new lifestyle rather than something temporary. It's good that I wanted to learn all these things. However, it only made it more complicated. What I should have done is just take it slow and actually put my focus on what personally mattered to me at the time, and that was losing weight. So that's exactly what I did. I put my focus on what mattered to me at the time, and that was losing weight. And I found out that I had to be in a calorie deficit in order for me to lose body fat in general. And what does this exactly mean? A calorie deficit is pretty much that you either eat less food than your body needs during the day, or you increase the amount of energy spent during the day, either by increasing cardio or just exercise in general, like, running or swimming or all those things. There was no reason for me whatsoever to actually read these scientific studies about nutrition and muscle and what does this thing do and what does that thing do. It only made it more complicated for me at the start. Sure, if you like reading that stuff, then that's completely fine. But make sure, just like I did, that it doesn't overwhelm you from actually taking action on the things that matter. Since I was overweight and I wanted to lose weight in general, I had to think about what kind of exercising I should be doing. I was going to the gym about 2 or 3 days a week, and that's only like 1 or 2 hours exercise and then you're done for the day. but I had to find some other kind of activity to do on the side. So I thought to myself, I can't really pick up running because that hurts my knees. But that's when I discovered something that turned out to be very underrated. That thing that I discovered was basically just walking. It was a very simple thing, but it became very effective to me personally. It was an easy way for me to just increase my energy spent during the day without having to put my body through any specific pain. So that's what I started doing more and more every single day. You've probably seen so many different videos on fat loss. You should be doing high intensity state cardio. You should be doing this and you should be doing that if you want to lose the weight. Sure, they are effective, but if you were a beginner, just like I was at the time, from my experience, they were just too demanding on the body and just taxing overall. So I could only do them for like 2 or 3 days in a row, and my body would be in complete shock and just pain. It was a struggle for me afterwards to just go around and do basic chores. As I said earlier, we have to start approaching it like a new lifestyle rather than something temporary. Just think to yourself, if you actually want to do this for a long time and stay healthy, because that's the main goal, right? Why would you do it too much and too fast at the start? It makes zero sense whatsoever. So the concept that I started following, and you probably heard this term a lot of times before, is progressive overload. What this basically means is that we progressively make it harder for ourselves. So just, you increase it from week to week to week. Instead of just going from this level to this level, you're just going to end up injuring yourself or making it too hard, and you're just going to quit and not reach the goals that you actually want to reach. This right here is the actual key to losing the body fat that you want to lose. You have to think in longevity rather than just going crazy dieting for like 1 or 2 weeks. Because sure, you will see results. However, you know already what's going to happen. After those 1-2 weeks that you lose the weight, oh, you're so happy. But after those weeks, you're just going to gain the weight slowly back again. And you're going to be in the same position that you were at the start, or maybe even worse. So that is the approach that I want you to follow. Go for longevity. So what did I exactly do? I started out with going to the gym like usual, but I gradually made it harder for myself. I started off with about 2 or 3 days a week, just letting my body adapt to the soreness and just learning the exercises in general. Now, on top of going to the gym, I also increased my daily activity just by doing simple things. I mentioned walking earlier. If I was going anywhere and it was walking distance from me, then I would just stop being lazy, thinking about grabbing the car, and I would just walk there. And it was such an easy thing to implement into my everyday life. Whenever I was out with friends or family, I would just take the stairs rather than the escalator. It was an easy way for me to just increase my daily step count. And at the same time, it was also actually fun and satisfying for me because I knew deep down that I was making a conscious effort to make myself more healthy. When it came to diet, I would also make more reasonable choices, but I didn't limit myself as much as you think. Instead of grabbing a regular Coke when I wanted something nice to drink, I would just grab a Coke Zero instead, and I could still enjoy myself without, having to limit myself and restrict the things that I actually enjoyed. Now, of course, just drinking regular water is better than, zero sugar drinks or whatever. But remember, we are progressively overloading here. It's all about the longevity and nothing else. If I wanted to go crazy, I would just eat salads and drink water all day. But that would make my life completely miserable. And I would just do it for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then I would just quit all along and just think it's completely pointless. Now, besides doing more walking and just making reasonable choices when it comes to my diet, another thing that really helped me was to make a daily step goal. In my case, that was 10,000 steps every single day. And this was just like an easy way for me to hold myself accountable because it gave me like a daily mission to complete. And most phones nowadays, they have a daily step counter in them. But for me personally, I wanted to have something on my wrist, so I could see it every day. So I bought one of these. This was basically the plan that I followed to lose some body fat and gain some muscle as a bonus. I'll put the transformation up here so you see what I mean. You gradually increase the exercise and the cardio that you do. You just have to find a way to fit it into your schedule. It's not that hard when you really think about it. Whenever you're out doing, errands or spending time with friends and family, take the stairs rather than the escalator. Set a daily step count goal for yourself so you can have something to hold yourself accountable. In my case, it was 10,000 steps. Again, I want to remind you that we are doing this as a new lifestyle and not something temporary. There is no reason for you to rush. We are doing this for a long time, remember? So the best way for you to stay consistent is that you gradually make it harder for yourself. That is how you're going to actually see results and stay healthy for a long period of time. I will put up my progress once again so you see what I mean. I went from someone that was overweight and insecure, who didn't like his body whatsoever, to someone who's just way more confident and secure in himself and has no problems whatsoever to take his shirt off if he actually wants to. If you want my personal help to build a physique that you're actually proud of, that will get you more respect and attention from everyone around you, especially when it comes to girls, then just click the first link in the description right now, bro. And thanks for watching.